Ever imagine yourself like a global deal maker,
Yeah.
in the high-stakes world of international trade,
Oh, yeah.
but specifically the kind who make sure that, like, no matter what's happening in the world, the meat aisle is stocked.
Right.
That's an import-export manager.
Absolutely.
It's a
Yeah.
fast-paced, demanding job.
Right.
And today we are diving deep into how to ace that interview using real questions from RoleCatcher's database.
Mm-hmm.
They've got over 120,000.
Wow.
We're also going to sprinkle in some insider wisdom from the Import-Export Manager Career Guide.
Okay.
And we're going to look at how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a personalized edge.
Yeah, having that inside knowledge can be a game changer.
Okay, so first up, the classic opener.
Right?
Can you describe your experience in international trade?
Right.
Seems simple, right?
It is, but it's also your first chance to set the tone.
Okay.
Think of it like this. You're not just listing past jobs. You're painting a picture of your journey in the world of imports and exports.
Right.
Especially as it relates to meat and meat products. Did you streamline a chaotic shipping process for imported beef? Did you negotiate a killer deal for poultry that boosted your company's bottom line?
Yeah.
These are the kinds of details that make you memorable.
So instead of just saying, I manage shipments,
Right.
it's more like, I navigated the complexities of importing frozen chicken while ensuring full compliance with USDA regulations.
Exactly.
Okay.
Speaking of regulations, let's say the interviewer follows up with, how do you stay up to date with changes in import and export regulations?
Okay.
It's a fast-moving landscape, so you need to show you're on top of it.
So rattling off a bunch of acronyms isn't going to cut it.
Right. Think about it. The meat and meat products industry has some very specific challenges.
Okay.
Mentioning publications like the Journal of Food Safety or organizations like the North American Meat Institute shows a deeper understanding than just general trade publications.
It's like the difference between saying you follow baseball and knowing the batting average of every player on the Yankees.
Now, let's say they throw you a curveball. Can you give me a specific example of a time you overcame a challenge related to those ever-changing regulations?
Okay.
This is where those real-life stories come in handy.
Right.
And it's where RoleCatcher's AI can be surprisingly helpful.
Really?
Absolutely. Their AI can analyze your work history and suggest relevant experiences that might have slipped your mind.
Wow.
It can even tailor your answers to match the specific requirements mentioned in the job description.
Okay. That's pretty slick.
Yeah.
Moving on to question 3. Can you describe your experience in negotiating contracts with international clients?
This one's all about diplomacy, especially in the meat trade, where cultural sensitivities can be tied to dietary preferences and religious practices.
Right.
The career guide mentions language barriers and cultural differences as common hurdles.
Sure.
Have a story ready that showcases your cross-cultural communication skills.
For example, I once negotiated a contract with a supplier in the Middle East, where I made sure to familiarize myself with halal certification requirements, which helped build trust and close the deal.
Perfect. You've highlighted both your cultural awareness and your understanding of the specific regulations tied to that market. Now, how about if they ask, what's your approach to handling disagreements during negotiations?
This feels like it's less about having a right answer and more about how you think on your feet.
Exactly. This is a chance to showcase your problem-solving skills, especially when things get a little meaty.
Okay.
Maybe you had to navigate a situation where a shipment of pork was rejected due to last-minute changes in import regulations. How did you salvage the deal?
Those are the kinds of war stories interviewers love to hear.
Right.
And if you're drawing a blank, RoleCatcher's AI can help you pinpoint situations from your past that might be relevant.
Absolutely. It's like having a digital brain that can access memories you didn't even know you had. Now let's move on to question 4. Let's imagine the interviewer throws this one your way. How do you ensure compliance with import and export regulations?
Okay.
This is where your attention to detail really shines. Absolutely. And it's not just about knowing the rules.
Right.
It's about having a system. Do you have a go-to process for verifying documentation?
Okay.
How do you stay ahead of regulatory changes? Don't be afraid to geek out a little here and show them you're a compliance with.
Right, because nobody wants to be the one responsible for a shipment of spoiled meat getting stuck at customs.
Speaking of avoiding disasters, that ties directly into our next question.
Okay.
How do you manage risk in international trade?
Right.
This is where you prove you're proactive and can anticipate problems before they even arise.
Like that old saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Right.
But in this case, you're not just preparing, you're
Right.
predicting.
Think about the things that could go wrong, especially in the meat and meat products industry.
Yeah.
We're talking about perishable goods, fluctuating markets,
Yeah.
and complex international regulations. The career guide highlights things like product damage or loss and regulatory complexities.
Mm.
But what sets you apart is having solutions ready.
So if an interviewer asks, how do you mitigate the risk of spoilage during transit? You could say something like,
Hmm.
I always ensure our shipments are transported in refrigerated trucks with real-time temperature tracking and alerts, and I have backup plans in place for potential delays or route changes.
That's a great example.
Okay.
You've identified a specific risk and demonstrated a clear understanding of how to manage it.
Right.
And here's where RoleCatcher's AI can really give you a leg up.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to run different risk scenarios based on real-time data.
Wait, hold on. RoleCatcher can do that.
You bet their AI can analyze historical data market trends and even weather patterns to help you identify potential disruptions and adjust your strategies accordingly. It's like having a crystal ball for your supply chain.
Okay, that's officially next-level stuff. All right, on to the next challenge. How do you manage logistics for international shipments?
This is where you showcase your coordination and problem-solving skills. Remember, we're not just shipping shoes here.
Right.
We're talking about time-sensitive, perishable goods. You need to demonstrate that you can handle the pressure.
So it's not just about knowing the route, it's about knowing who to call when things go wrong.
Exactly. The career guide emphasizes building strong relationships with suppliers, freight forwarders, and customs brokers.
Right.
A well-told anecdote about a time you navigated a shipping nightmare can be pure gold here.
Something like, I once had a shipment of beef held up in customs due to a paperwork error. I immediately contacted our broker, expedited the correct documents, and managed to get the shipment released just in time to fulfill our client's order.
Now that's what I call thinking on your feet. You've shown you can handle stress, solve problems, and keep those stakes from becoming, well, not stakes.
Okay, so moving on to question number 6.
All right.
This was all about leadership. Can you describe your experience in managing a team?
This is where you showcase your ability to not just manage people, but to inspire them, especially when the stakes are high and you're dealing with tight deadlines and complex logistics, all within the meat and meat product landscape.
So it's like being a coach, right?
Right.
You need to know how to motivate your team to perform at their best, even when the pressure's on.
Exactly. And remember, in this role, you're often coordinating with multiple teams.
Right.
From procurement and sales to logistics and quality control. Highlight your experience, building relationships, fostering collaboration, and getting everyone rowing in the same direction.
And the career guide emphasizes the importance of adaptability and problem solving.
Yes.
You need to be able to think on your feet and make quick decisions, especially when things don't go according to plan.
Absolutely. So instead of just saying, I'm a team player,
Right.
think about a time you had to navigate a tricky situation with your team. Did you resolve a conflict between colleagues? Did you motivate your team to meet a seemingly impossible deadline?
Right. Those are the kind of real-life examples that bring your leadership skills to life.
Exactly.
Now let's move on to our final question. Can you describe your experience in developing and implementing import-export strategies?
This is your opportunity to showcase your strategic thinking skills. It's not enough to just know how to execute a plan.
Okay.
You need to demonstrate that you can develop a winning strategy from the ground up, considering all the moving parts of the global meat trade.
So it's about seeing the big picture, understanding the market trends,
Yes.
and anticipating future challenges and opportunities.
Precisely. And don't forget about those all-important market trends. What's happening in the world of meat and meat products?
Right.
Are there emerging markets, new regulations, changing consumer preferences?
Yeah.
The career guide stresses the need to stay ahead of the curve.
And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer.
Absolutely. Imagine being able to analyze millions of data points to identify new market opportunities or predict potential disruptions before they even happen. RoleCatcher's AI can do just that, giving you a distinct advantage when it comes to developing and implementing those winning import-export strategies.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. Yeah. From nailing those tricky interview questions to leveraging the power of AI, we've really explored what it takes to succeed as an import-export manager in this exciting world of meat and meat products.
And remember, preparation is key. The more you understand about the role of the industry and your own unique strengths,
Right.
the more confident you'll be walking into that interview room.
Couldn't agree more. So, to recap, we've gone deep on 7 common interview questions, sprinkled in insights from the Import-Export Manager Career Guide,
Right.
and even tapped into the power of RoleCatcher's AI.
It's like having a secret weapon for your job search. RoleCatcher can help you tailor your resume, practice your answers, and even identify new opportunities you might not have found otherwise.
So if you're ready to take your career to the next level, head over to RoleCatcher.com and see how they can help you land your dream job in the dynamic world of international trade.
Until next time, happy job hunting. And remember, the world is waiting for that special someone who can navigate the intricacies of international meat and meat product trade. Maybe that someone is you.